But yes, Musubulele Kale, Mr. Prisone Khotmane, and we want to welcome you to another episode of XL Live here on DSTV channel 263, the best youth show in the motherland. And now we are diving deep into a talk show or a discussion that we've been always having about. We do talk about, since humans have been a part of nature, we do understand that we do play a crucial role in the environment, especially when it comes to taking care of it. And we also have to get to use the eco-friendly products that we can use so that we can save the environment for possible destructions. But in my right-hand side, we do have Simo and Lesego to talk to us about today's discussions. How are you guys doing?
We are good, thank you. How are you?
I'm critical but stable. It's first Thursdays.
Yeah.
But to dive straight into it, I want to ask, how or why are we destroying the environment? How are we destroying the environment as humans?
I feel like this is actually such an amazing topic because on a daily, we impact on the things that actually happen on this earth.
Yes.
Because we stay in this earth and we don't realize the things that we do on a daily basis actually destroy things like polluting, the littering we do, there's deforestation, overpopulation, and you can add on.
There's a lot of factors, honestly, and I think like we honestly don't realize, we honestly do not realize how much this can affect us.
Yes.
But it is honestly affecting us each and every single day.
Yes.
Yes. Even the air we breathe, for example, it's poison. The water we drink, we can't even drink water in our taps anymore because it's natural, but now it's poison. So it's unhealthy for us. We need to buy water, imagine.
Yeah, the world we live in. Yeah. But you did touch on something very important, because I did a few of my research. With the research that I've been doing is I've found a few scientists talking about, especially when it comes to world population, is it something that the world says that the earth is overpopulated. Because if you notice, if I were to say now take a plane and drive and fly to Joburg, you just see vast of land that's not occupied.
Yeah.
And there's so many, there's like, if we can be just given a land to just occupy, everyone can have their own thing. So is it because we are in these small cities so we feel like we are overpopulated, or is it just a mental thing that's happening when it comes to environmental stuff?
I feel like it is like we all in one place, because also we must think it's the rich and the poor. The poor, you know what they do, how they pollute the world, because like every day they will be sleeping on the streets. They will be I don't want to say, like, they will be pooing, for example, on the streets. And that's actually a detriment, because there's also animals walking around. They're going to be eating that. And what we compose outside is actually such a detriment, because also the animals, we're going to need these animals. The plants we eat, the plants that are growing, for example, it's just...
If you look at a place like China, you realize that it's overpopulated, which we recently had like this sickness called corona, and it literally just escalated so quickly that we didn't even think of it. And this is why where we actually need to think about factors like us not taking care of our population comes into place.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
You guys talk about all this stuff that, especially that humans contribute, especially when it comes to doing this to the environment.
Yes.
And how can we tackle such stuff? How do we make the environment a better place to live in? Where do we start? Because there's so many things to do. So where do we actually begin with this whole thing?
I feel like we should start, like, small. For example, when we go to shopping malls, we use reusable bags and stop actually buying these plastics, because we don't know where those plastics go. Do you? For example, when you're done shopping with that plastic, where do you put it? Sometimes you will throw it out.
But us at the house, we have these lightly plastic bags. All of us, we say fire for it, just in case you do another shopping. But also, you mentioned that, but the alternatives don't really work sometimes for us, for other people. Because if you remember, we did, there was a video where a turtle had a straw in their nose, and there was this advocate that people are destroying the environment.
Yeah.
But now when it comes to using, how do you guys feel about the paper straws? Because they suck.
I'm not gonna lie, I hate it so much, but we need to think about the environment also, because it's also not only for us, but our future generation. Imagine the world they're going to live in if right now there's so much happening, like all the detriments that are happening right now. our future kids, Shem, where are they gonna
Future
live?
kids. That's also population of the world, but also.
Yeah.
Okay, now to dive into more and talk about this is you'd find what are you playing, what role are you playing now? Since we asked like what can we do as humans, but what to ask you individually for you, Lesego, what is it that you play a role in to save the environment?
Honestly, I can say that I am educating myself more about everything so that I can educate others to do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's just so many things that I am doing, but also like saving water, for example. There's we've been growing up with reuse,
Reduce,
recycle.
Yes.
Even though we don't take it very much into consideration, but it is something that I am learning to take into consideration.
Even I think like through social media, on Twitter, it should be chats we should be having. On Instagram, people post things like that happen in the ocean, how it's so damaged. We need to actually show that these things are happening. And if we don't do anything about it now, we're going to go through so much global warming, everything. Like, we're not going to have food to eat. Everything we eat.
That's going to happen now.
Poison. Exactly. You see, right now, it's crazy. And it's going to get worse. We're actually going to feel it. The air we breathe, the air pollution, just everything.
Okay, so we did mention and touch bases on the on recycling issues.
Yeah.
How important is it for us to actually go out there and start recycling things that we use? Because you did mention that to talk about the plastic you mentioned, I take the plastics, whatever that I get from ShopRite, but I don't just, when I'm done with the shopping, I throw it away.
Out.
I use it for other things at home. For instance, there's people, if they want to dye their hair, they put on the plastic.
You put it on,
So is it part of recycling when I do it like that, or how do I go about it?
I feel like it is, but to an extent, because after you've done using it for your hair, dyeing your hair, for example, what are you going to do? You're going to throw it out.
Yeah.
And then what do the people that take all the plastics, what do they do with it? You know, where they throw it out. There's people that actually live in those areas, and now imagine that air pollution, because they are going to burn those things.
Yes.
And now people are actually breathing that air in. For example, poor people, where overpopulated.
Hey, like poor people, right?
The thing is, it kind of like, it leads to overpopulation, because even with them, like, it's kind of like overpopulation, because they will be producing a lot of kids. Those kids are breathing in that air that they're burning in those places, rural areas, the water they drink, for example. Like, it's
so interesting, but I think that's the time we have for today. Thank you guys for joining us here. And I think it's because you did touch on very important stuff.
Yeah.
But we did ask about around. We went around the streets, always trying to ask you guys what you guys actually think of. We did ask what the city says. This is The City Speaks.
What I understand by like planting more fruits and vegetables, planting more trees so that they can release more oxygen and that kind of thing.
By composting, let earth go back to earth. Every garden benefits from the addition of compost because it supplies many of the nutrients plants need. Also improves the soil physical characteristics. So, umhlabi mhlabeni.
So when we're speaking of the eco-environment, I think, first of all, the way to regenerate it is firstly by taking ownership of what we've done to the environment. And once we do that, then we know what needs to be sorted or what needs to be fixed in terms of planting more trees, using more eco-friendly items when we want to do things. Like, for example, instead of using coal, we could use airs or wind or wind speed in order to accumulate electricity, or water, other alternatives rather than things that are going to pollute the earth. So that's what I think we need to do. So basically planting trees, planting gardens, doing something as minimal as possible but with major effect.
feel like people can contribute in the regeneration of the eco-environment by reducing, reusing, and recycling, which is the simplest way for me that I could say it. Or even by gardening, just taking care of the earth, using products that are biodegradable would help reducing the carbon footprint of us. Yeah.
Of course, that was the City Speaks, letting us know how you guys at home are contributing to, of course, what we call Earth Hour. And we do have a social media question running, and we are asking you, does Earth Hour actually impact on energy usage rather than we have in our daily lives? And we do have a comment coming through from Luandi Lezulu, and she says, I think it helps more, especially with awareness, because sometimes we are so busy with our personal lives that we forget about Earth Hour. So for me, I think that it impacts me in the way to be kinder to myself, to be kinder to the environment, shape and form. Do let us know on XL Live across all social media platforms. After the break, we do have Eco Hour still in the building. You don't want to miss it.